Hi, welcome back to the Shuffle Squad. I'm PJ here, bringing you another video about a pretty interesting deck list that we've seen capitalize on some of these local challenges and cups lately. And I have a very special guest to talk about said deck here on this episode. Lucas, I have Lucas Worrod with me right now. Lucas, did you want to give yourself an introduction here for this video?
All right. My name's Lucas. I'm a high school teacher. I teach math and science, and I just play Pokemon for fun whenever I can. Yeah.
Awesome. And how long have you been playing the game for?
So I started in like the Heart Gold, Soul Silver, like Diamond and Pearl era.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I was like 10, and
Nice.
then took a break, and then about 2 years ago, got back into collecting, and then that developed into playing again.
Very
Yeah.
cool, very cool. We love when collectors kind of jump back over the fence
Mhm.
to the competitive side, so that's very cool to hear. But we won't beat around the bush too much. Today we're going to be talking about Gouging Fire, and you recently had some success at a League Cup here, or a couple of them, right? I
Yep.
think. So talk to me a little bit about the deck overall and why you chose something like Gouging Fire.
So originally I saw Azul posted a video on it, and I thought
Yep.
it looked really fun. So I tried it online for a little bit, and then I thought I would take it to a league challenge. So I did that, and then I got top three at the challenge. So I was like, oh, this kind of works. This is pretty good. So then, because I played Gardevoir before, so
Right.
and it's a lot, in my opinion, less brain power than Gardevoir. So I just chose to play it for a cup, and then that was my first top eight that I've ever gotten at a cup with that deck. So then played at another one and got top four. So
Very cool.
yeah.
And I know that we're kind of in the lull in between major tournaments right now. Everyone's kind of preparing for Worlds and decks like that. And I did see Azul post that, so shout out to you, Azul, if you're watching this,
Mhm.
for posting this list. I'm not sure if it was one of your dude streams or what that you just recorded, but it was a super cool list. I was at the gym and
Oh
I
yeah.
just came across it. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool. We saw decks in the past very similar to this with the Entei, and you had your Iron Valiant in the
Mhm.
list, but this works a little bit different. So I'm going to talk to you, Lucas, because you've been playing the deck a little bit more than I have. I've just
Mhm.
racked up a couple games on PTCG Live, and I obviously can tell how it's working, and the audience at home viewing this will be able to see the full list. But why don't you go over some of the texts that are in here or how the deck functions overall?
So to start with text, there's
Mhm.
really not any. Um, like the Munkidori helps you hit 280, which
Right.
is great for like Pidgeots and Arceus and stuff like Lugia, stuff like that.
Hmm.
But the only tech that I really added was Lost Vacuum, just
Okay.
for Gardevoir, because that's a really bad matchup. So it gives you a bit of a chance against Gardevoir, and then if you're playing Charizard and they put a Hero's Cape on their Pidgeot, that's a big problem because that's one of some of the prizes you're counting on in that matchup.
Right.
So to be able to vacuum the Cape away, I played against a Blocklax the other day, and he had a handheld fan on a Snorlax. So
Oof.
yeah,
Yeah, that's tough to
it's
get around.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So the only tech is really just the vacuum.
Nice, very cool. And looking at the full list now, you do have an alternative attacker for those decks.
Yes.
The single prize decks. You do
Mhm.
have Moltres here, and that's
Yes.
from I forget the set name. It started with
Brilliant
B.
Stars. Yep.
Brilliant Stars. That's the one.
Yep.
So we haven't seen this. Obviously, we saw a couple of players that were playing the Entei Iron Valiant list playing this Moltres, and it is a
Mhm.
really good tech, I think, into Gardevoir, where you're
Oh
again with
yes,
a
for
single
sure.
prize attacker, but you do have a lot of liabilities on your bench, which is
Oh
the
yeah.
difficult part.
Oh yeah.
So I guess how are you able to capitalize, or what was your thought process with what I should put down versus what I shouldn't put down on the board on the bench?
Right. So it's kind of hard to um, play the game, like to be consistent without Squawkabilly.
Right.
So like turn one, I think like 70 or 80% of the time I'll have to play Squawkabilly to get a turn one attack. So that's kind of always there. So that's why the bravery charms are great instead of just running 3 ancient boosters.
Mm-hmm.
Putting a bravery charm on the Squawkabilly just to get it out of the range of like Screamtails and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mew, I'd say I try to avoid benching Mew, but if it's like the middle of the game and I need some more cards for an attack, I'll play that to hopefully get me there. And then Lumineon, I think could actually be cut. I don't
Oh,
find
okay.
myself not having a supporter a lot of the time. I like you burn through your deck pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it could be cut. I don't know for sure, just because there are
Right.
situations where it's saved me. But
Exactly. It's like added
yeah,
insurance, I think, to the deck.
exactly. Yeah,
Um, we noticed that the Radiant of choice in this deck list
right.
is Greninja over a
Yes.
Charizard. Would you think, hey, a fire deck, I might as well play a single prize attacker in Charizard?
Right.
But how quintessential was having Radiant Greninja to get this deck rolling?
The Greninja is awesome. It helps you get the energy in the discard pile. You need
Mm-hmm.
that for the Magma Basin and Sada. Helps you see more cards. I
Right.
like it would not be as consistent as it is without Greninja, for sure.
Absolutely. So,
Mhm.
now the other thing that I noticed that you're teetering with, and I know Azul had brought it up in his video on his channel, um, the energy switches are not a 4 count. We see a lot of the other
Right.
item cards that are in a 4 count, aside from trekking shoes,
Mhm.
and then we're seeing like a difference of tool cards here too. We've got some bravery charms. We've got only one ancient booster capsule,
Mhm.
and you got the rescue board in here too. So the things that go through my mind is, booster capsule is really good on your gouging fire, but I've come across some matchups again on the live ladder where you're playing against Lost Box and they're trying to
Mhm.
target down those 2 prize liabilities in the bench.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I was going to say, would you
Sorry.
rather have a third bravery charm, or do you think that the split is fine?
I think the split is fine,
Okay.
just because the booster, like 290, I find
Mm-hmm.
is there's actually a pretty big difference between that and 280.
Right.
Like for, I think like my biggest matchup that I've capitalized on with it is like Raging Bolt Ogerpon,
Right.
like forcing them to have the 5 energies. I think it is five. Yeah, five
Yeah.
energies early in the game. Like they can get it later in the game. Just
Sure.
if you can get ahead early game
Yeah.
without, then it's very helpful.
I feel like
Because
you put on so much pressure in that matchup too, because you're swinging
yeah,
260 at least.
yeah, mhm,
The double monkey dories probably help a lot in some other matchups too.
yes.
Were you using double monkey in a lot of these lists?
Um, I usually only get one down,
Okay.
um, just because like I'm focused on like getting the attack, so most
Mm-hmm.
of my resources go towards getting the attack for
Right.
turn, not Monkey Dory. But I like Charizard is a big one where the double Monkey Dory is very helpful.
Got it.
Just getting like as much damage as possible on a Charizard. You can like swing it for 260, double Monkey Dory if like the next turn if they don't get the like Defiance Band
Mm-hmm.
attack going. But the 2 Monkey Dories in the deck, I just because you're burning through the deck so quickly,
Right.
I like you usually end up discarding one early in the game, and there's no Super Rod to get it back. So just
Yeah.
usually if you can get one down per game, I think that's the
Gotcha. And
best situation. Yeah.
I would go as far as to say that like Zard seems like a super difficult matchup,
Oh,
but you
it's
already
yeah,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
yeah, it's bad.
So maybe we'll hang this one up or put it in the binder for the next
Yeah.
format with Dust Clouds.
Hmm.
But for
Oh,
right now
yeah.
and League Cups and challenges,
Hmm.
I do think it's a solid deck. I'm
Hmm.
thinking in my mind like the worst part about playing against Gardevoir isn't necessarily that they have these one-shot attackers or things that can attack your bench. It's really that they're reducing your hand size and disrupting you so
Yes, that
often.
yes, it's not great.
Yeah.
Um,
So, were you able to play up somebody playing Gardevoir with Aroma over Unfair Stamp, or have you not played
um,
that?
I don't think I've played against a Aroma version
Okay.
yet. It's just yeah. So the reset stamp definitely hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only chance I really have against Gardevoir right now is if they have a slow start,
Got
and
it.
I have a really good start. I can just get ahead in the prizes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just it's not been great.
Got it.
Even if they were using the aroma, I think just
Mm,
the constant Ionos
yeah,
would be enough to slow me down to
exactly.
not getting there. Yeah.
Thinking about double Munkidori and then just hitting with the first attack from Gouging Fire for
Mhm.
60. That one's pretty fun too.
Yeah.
The other thing that I comes to my mind here is that you can always attack with Mew EX. So did that
Yes.
ever come up with any of your matchups? Did you attack with Mew EX?
I have not attacked with Mew EX before. Just because like I never have like all the energy switch I need in hand. I usually burn through them like a bunch of other cards.
Mm-hmm.
It would be great in like to use like on a Radiant Greninja snipe two
Right.
things, but I haven't got to use it yet. I'm hopefully going to do that soon because it seems awesome to be able to pull that off, but I
Right.
haven't got there yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, because double E switch and a jet energy, you
Yeah.
boss up the Greninja and they
Hmm.
just pack it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah.
What about the Iron Bundle? That's like the one thing that sticks out in this list to me. I don't know how effective that actually is because you have three boss already. You're just
Right.
a fast, aggressive deck. Is there
Hmm.
ever, or has there ever been any matchups where it's really come in handy?
Yes, the
Okay.
bundle is awesome. Like I've used it. So the first thing that came to my mind was against Blocklax, just having
Oh.
it on your bench. Just because, like, so how I won the game against Blocklax was I benched Iron Bundle early, and then
Mm.
he filled my bench up with a bunch of flutes, and
Yep.
so I couldn't play Moltres
Mm.
to knock out Mimikyu. So then I could bundle. I bundled, so then I could bench Moltres. So
Nice.
that was great being able to do that, and
Mm-hmm.
then the bundle's also great, like going second turn one,
Okay.
because usually they'll put up something they don't want, like they're okay with getting knocked out. So then
Mm-hmm.
hopefully you can bundle up a two prizer or something like that, and then hopefully go 2 4 6 is
Gotcha.
always the plan. Yeah. So I think it's great.
Yeah. Has
Mhm.
Secret Box come in clutch? We've seen Secret Box come in a lot
Yes.
of ancient box lists.
Hmm.
So, shout out to Zach Lesage for putting that
Yeah. Yes, for
in.
sure. Yeah, secret box. Like if you get secret box turn one, they're like you're not missing an attack. Like you
Got
get
it.
everything you need off of it, like the basin, rescue board for the retreat. If you need an energy, earthen vessel, and then Sada, it's perfect.
Very cool. All
Mhm.
right. So, last question I have on your list here, Lucas, is what changes would you make, if any? And if you're going to continue to
Mhm.
play this for cups and challenges until we get the new format.
I've thought like I put this thought aside because I'm Monkey Dory is so important, but
Mm-hmm.
because I've only ever really played one Monkey Dory in a game, I haven't really gotten to the two. Like
Mm-hmm.
cutting a Monkey Dory and putting back the Iono that I cut
Mm-hmm.
would, I think, be great. But then thinking like, oh, what if I discard one early? You need the Monkey Dory to knock certain stuff out.
Right.
The Lumineon I've thought about cutting.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the only things I really want to do is keep it as consistent as possible. So I don't want to cut any consistency cards because that's what I think is like one of the best parts about the deck is just being able to get the turn one attack and then continue that for the rest of the game. Just going full steam ahead is how I've won a lot of games. So
Very
just being
cool.
as consistent as possible. So if I was to think of a way to make it more consistent, I would try to do that. But um, like I don't know if there's a way that I'm gonna turn it into a favorable matchup against like Charizard and Gardevoir. So
Yeah.
just don't worry about teching for those. Just accept your fate against them and then
Yeah.
win the other matchups.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll
Mm.
just win out or get the better starting hand and just be more
Exactly.
aggressive. Because I did notice, you posted on here a couple days back that you did beat a Gardevoir, so it is possible. Hopefully, going forward, playing the deck a little bit more, and especially if anyone out there is watching this video and want to play the deck, just get your games in. That's the same with any deck. But the deck looks
Exactly. Yeah.
super fun.
Mhm.
You know, I definitely am gonna sleeve it up and just try it myself,
Mhm.
and even if it's gold fishing at home and
Yeah.
playing against myself, I think it looks really cool, and I love the sequencing that the deck has. These are
Mhm.
fast, aggressive decks, and what's more fun to play at a League Cup or a challenge than a fast, aggressive deck?
Yeah.
So, all
Mhm.
right. Well, again, thank you so much, Lucas, for
Yeah, no
joining me
problem.
here on this episode. If you want, this is your time here. If you want to give any shout outs to anybody and thank yous here.
Shout out to all the boys at Carl's Collectibles in Aurelia. You guys are awesome. Dom, who you know, uh, he's been a great help, like deck building and just giving me shout outs where wherever needed. It's yeah. So all the guys at Carl's Collectibles in Aurelia. That's my
Awesome.
biggest shout out. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, one more time, thank you for joining me here, and we are going to hop over into some gameplay for this deck and show you that next on this video. All right, we're going to choose the coin flip here. Hopefully we land on tails. That's what we picked, and it is heads. So our opponent's going to get to pick whether they're going first or second. Obviously, with a deck like Gouging Fire, you want to choose second pretty much every game. So a blind second is the way to go. I really don't think that there is a game that you want to go first, especially since you're reliant on Squawkabilly and Radiant Greninja and all the other fancy things here. You want to be able to turn one supporter and turn one attack with this deck. So, all right. So having the Munkidori is pretty good. We do have a way of switching out. That's also fun. Trekking Shoes is something that's on my mind here. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Now, we're playing against Dragapult. Dragapult's been kind of up and coming lately. They've got the Tatsugiri. They're choosing to go first. Getting all the Dragapults ready to go with their Droopy army. And chances are they're going to have a Xatu come down here. And there we go. Natu, Xatu. We're getting ready. Not sure if they paid attention to our mulligan for not putting down a mana fee, but I guess they want an EX, probably a Rotom EX here to start to draw a little bit more, maybe leaving that spot open for a Lumineon. Earthen Vessel taking out cards from the deck don't seem great, and Ultra Ball is actually really good right now, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's put down our Gouging Fire, and step one is going to be to get rid of our boss, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and just do this. I think just getting the energy into play here is going to be really good. Go ahead and get rid of this dark energy. I think that that's fine too. We're going to get a Squawk. Before we do anything else, let's just go ahead and Sada. Get the fire energy there. Now we've got Jet. We can put the rescue board on Monkey. And then we'll go ahead and Squawk and Seize. Now we could potentially take a knockout here. But hitting for 60 seems pretty good, right? Yeah, let's just go ahead and start putting some energy onto the field here. So we're going to Magma Basin to the second Gouging Fire. Just to build it up, get it ready for the following turn. And I'm going to hit for 60. Now, if we find another Dark Energy, I can take 2 prizes next turn. But aside from that, we really can just hit this thing with another 60. Probably going to see a Tatsugiri come down. Having that into the lost zone does make it tough. Or not the lost zone, I'm sorry, the discard pile. Having this dark energy in the discard pile doesn't feel great. They do need Psychic, Rare Candy, Dragapult to do anything. Okay, so they have a TM Evo, so they could Evo into Cloak and Xatu on the bench. That's where Tatsu is going to come in towards the end of the game. That way they can get out of a dead hand. If we use our Iono here, having the chance of an Iono towards the end of the game is really good for us, especially if we go behind on prize cards. So something to keep in mind here, we know that they're going to have a 90 hit point Pokemon on the bench and also a 100 hit point Pokemon that's a support Pokemon on the bench. So we're going to have to really aggressively attack these Pokemon that are coming up, especially since they're going to TM Evo. They don't necessarily have Psychic available for our game knowledge right now, and they have a pretty low hand size. One of those is TM Evo, and then they have 2 other cards into the deck here. So I think that my next play, honestly, is to attach this Fire Energy active, boss up whatever they've got going on here. Chances are they're going to have one of the, or 2 Dracloaks in play next turn, for sure. And there we go. They're able to just capitalize. They proved me wrong. They do have Psychic Energy. So still able to TM Evo. They've got the board. So we know that their hand was potentially board, Ultra Ball, those 2 cards, the boss, the Fire Energy. So they have split energy. It's something we can capitalize on. Also, we want to take out this Dreepy that's got the Psychic Energy on it to put them behind a little bit more. Now, they can put Xatu up if they get another one, maybe draw into something. They do have the Recon Directive ability on this Dracloak. That could be a little scary. And this one next turn. So we want to limit their draw potential. Again, Tatsugiri can come up. So let's try this. Let's just go here. We'll save Lumineon in hand. I'm going to boss. And we're going to boss Dracloak out into the active. And then we can go ahead and Blaze Blitz for 260, taking a little bit of their draw off the board and also the potential threat of a Dragapult next turn if they can't find 2 energies. That's pretty good. And then we are still keeping this Dreepy over here, potentially finding a Dark Energy. Could be really good. We could Sada, Dark Energy, Energy switch to Munkidori, and then take a 2 prize knockout. That could be cool too. That's the hard part, though. We have to do some things that we don't really want to do. We're gonna have to. There's that. They do have a Dracloak. Here we go, Super Rod. Putting these 3 probably back into the deck. Putting their Psychic Energy, a Dreepy, and Dracloak back into the deck. Or potentially a Fire Energy, because decks like this typically will play more Psychic Energy than Fire. So the Fire resource, I would assume that this list is very close to Cyrus Davis's list or Kelly Moore's list that they were playing at their locals. That's running, okay, they're only running 3 Fire Energies. All right, so they're getting more Dreepy set up. It looks like they definitely did not draw into their Dragapult or Fire Energy. I'm not sure if our opponent realizes how low of a resource that is. And there's an Iono, so we could still make this work. We just need a Sada energy switch. Okay, that works too. Earthen Vessel also works. Try to go for Magma Basin as well. Now they're splitting the energy. we can still take pretty decent sized knockout on this thing. Oh wow, okay, so they are able to capitalize and get a Dragapult, which is not the thing that you want to see for sure. Probably gonna go after our monkey. They're gonna hit us for 200, which seems pretty bad. Counter catcher too. Oof, we get to get that knockout. That's not great. They're probably gonna split up the damage counters, I would assume. Or maybe just put all 6 on one, which is still pretty good. Again, we're going to be able to take some knockouts. Getting this off of our board feels fine also. Okay, here we go. Yep, there. That works. Works for me. Let's see what we can do here. Let's just put this guy active. We're going to go. And look at that. We didn't even have to do anything. Let's all right. We're just going to attach here. We can conceal cards. Ooh, E-Switch seems pretty fun too. I can use this Adrena Brain, and we're going to move 30 off of this guy. And we're going to put it right on that Dracloak. Like that. There we go. 1 knockout. Seems pretty good. Magma Basin. Feels fine. Now, if they can potentially boss me, that could be bad. We want to do 260. And now we do have potential to get this to 290, swing with our other Gouging Fire, and take a 2-prize turn here. So that's another thing we can do with Munkidori still on the board. Now we have E-Switch. As long as we're able to draw into a Sada, we can E-Switch a Dark Energy off of one of our Gouging Fires. We still have a single prize attacker in our Moltres here too. Having the Radiant Charizard over the Radiant Alakazam, I'm not exactly sure if they're going to do that. They're getting rid of most likely our board, and then I don't know if that's the play. Okay, so getting rid of our Magma Basin doesn't hurt us as much as they think. And there's the Iono. So we're both getting Iono to 4. Let's see if that pays off. There's our second Munkidori. So again, we want to Vessel, find our resources, and then move some damage counters. All right, here we go. They're drawing another card, putting a card at the bottom, very similar to the Sun and Moon Pidgeotto that looks at the top card and then puts another card at the bottom. If you played back in the Sun and Moon era like I did, you will know exactly what that card does for sure. So let's see. There's the Fire Energy for late in the game, so we do have to potentially attack this thing with a single prize Pokemon, or at least put a single prize into the active. Hopefully they can't boss around us and take another 2-prize knockout. They are not going to be able to knock out the Gouging Fire, though. That's something that we have on the board that they do not. So putting more damage onto the board here. Now our vacuum would be pretty funny if we can vacuum off that rescue board. This also gives us a potential on Moltres. Seems pretty good. Okay, here's a Bravery Charm. So the first thing I want to do is I want to... Yes, we'll Vessel away a Vessel. We don't need all of them. And we'll get our 2 energy cards. Thin the deck a little bit. And then we can conceal cards. Go ahead and hit concealed cards here. Get rid of one of our Fire Energy. All right, E-Switch is still really, really good. You know, we can't swing 260 here. But I can attack with a single prize Pokemon. That's pretty good. Getting this off the board is also pretty nice. I'm going to go move this right off of here. Put it onto that. Starting to get this ready. We're going to put some energy into the discard pile. Let's put both of our fire in there. And prevent Dragapult from taking a 2-prize knockout with the charm. And let's just swing for 90. And there we go. 2 prizes in the books. We're going to go right here. We'll get these 2 prize cards. And Iono is very good right now. They are going to be able to swing with Charizard this turn. But again, they're swinging into our single prize Pokemon. So now lots of draw on the board. They even have Tatsugiri if they want to find a supporter. Could be very good for them. Could be very good for us too. If we're again able to find a Sada this turn, there's potential of double Monkey on the board. I could take this Dracloak out with double Monkey. I have enough damage on the board, and then we could just swing with a retreat into the active Magma Basin and call it a day. And then we just win the game. So let's see if our opponent can capitalize on any of their resources in their deck. They do have a pretty big deck size, and that's something to keep in mind, that even if we were to Iono and maybe put second Monkey on the board, it's something that they have to come back from. We are going to put our energy switch at the bottom of our deck if we do that, but we still have potentially 2 more. And again, it is my fault for not checking my prizes, but there is at least the 1 energy switch there. So we could do that. And that's potential. We can still swing 90 with this and move damage counters with Monkey. And that's another potential that we could do. So we really, really want to be able to do the double Monkey play, because I think that that's our best chance of winning right now. 7 cards in hand, 16 card deck. The odds are in our favor for sure. But again, it's all up to fate here. We have a 26 card deck. If we Iono ourselves, we're going to Iono ourselves to 2. So the best course of action is to thin the deck a little bit more if we do choose to go with Iono. Let's see, Arven. Not sure exactly what Arven's going to go for here. Could be a counter catcher, though. Counter catcher is pretty scary. Counter catcher is actually very scary. I don't like that at all. Okay, so Defiance Band. Maybe they have a counter catcher in hand. There's a Super Rod. Let's see if they put back their fire energy. They have 4 fire energy, so that's a little bit different than normal lists I've seen. Maybe they just went for a full-on split. 1 counter catcher, 1 boss in the discard pile. So they're either relying on a prime catcher, potential of a counter catcher in this list. I mean, playing the Arven seems pretty fine, but if they were going to Arven, I would assume, since they have a free retreater, they are going to want to counter catcher us, for sure. Let's see what actually happens here. Oh, okay, a Rotom. Seems pretty good. Now we have 2 boss in the discard pile. If we luck draw a boss, we also just win. That's kind of fun. All right, let's see what they go for here. They are using the Forest Seal Stone to search for 1 card. I'm contemplating what card that is, and if they use it this turn, because then we definitely have to go into... oh, you know what we could do? We could E-switch on Munkidori and just take the prize card there. So we could still win this turn. We can Munkidori once, move that energy with energy switch. And this is a play that, it's like a 5-head play. I did not even think about that. We have everything that we need on the board. And we can just knock out this Dracloak. As long as it doesn't evolve this turn, and they don't take all 4 prize cards, I'm pretty sure that we win this game. All right, let's see what they've got. Zatu's been used. See what's happening. All right, there's a TM Evo. That's gone. Let's check the game log. Did they attach this turn? I have to remember. Drew a card. Okay, they did not attach. Their cloak's a little scary. Because if they do evolve into a Dragapult, things aren't looking as good as I thought. So, but again, they're not going to be able to knock out this thing. 260 plus 60 is exactly 320. So either way, I think that we just have this game locked up. Not a whole lot going on here. It is very much like chess, though. Like we have to think about it. What are our plays? What moves do we have to make? It does seem pretty aggressive at the beginning, but once you get towards the late game, the deck does start showing the skill expression on how you can use all of these cards, for sure. All right, so there's a Combustion Blast. Totally fine. Huh. All right. I'm going to have to luck into some things here. Magma Basin. Double Monkey. Let's try to get our prize card first. Let's go Monkey. Move damage. 1, 2, 3. Let's use Nest Ball first. Ooh, okay. No, we don't want that. Do have a boss. Huh. We have 3 Sadas. And we have 2 E switches. Right? We have 2 E switches. I'm not losing my mind, right? Got 2 E switches. All right, here we go. Like ripping a Band-Aid. Let's see. See what our opponent gets. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's Magma Basin down below. We did it. So before we do that, let's Adrena Brain. Let's take this damage off of here. And let's get our prize card. Now, had we Iono'd after that, we would have lost the game. So here we go. Taking 1 prize. And we got Mew. For giggles, let's just throw this out here. No, I don't want it. None. We're done. Let's go ahead and energy switch. Move it up to the active. Let's go ahead and restart. Draw 3 more cards. Why not? And then we can go ahead and just bring this thing up. And go into 260, taking our last prize of the game. That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. Wow, what an exhilarating deck. I love playing decks like this. There's so many cool little intricacies that you can play around. There is the aggressive strategy at the beginning of the game. This deck is so cool. You're going to be able to use this on PTCG Live yourself if you want to test it out and try it, maybe even sleeve it up and bring it to locals. The cards are pretty low in cost. If you want to head over to Kayfabe Cards, you can see the link down in the description of this video and check out some singles. You can also purchase singles right on our website here at the Shuffle Squad, and you can directly support us too. And you know, playing Pokemon is such a great hobby. It's such a great competitive atmosphere for players that are new or seniored into the game, tenured, however you want to say it. But this deck is so much fun, and I highly recommend it just before, you know, we get into the Charizard meta after Shrouded Fable in the middle of August. Definitely a deck you might want to pick up and try out. Super fun, super low cost. So you'll be able, again, to copy paste this out of the description of the video and use it for PTCG Live or just recreate it in person. I think that you're going to have a blast. So let me know in the comments. We always answer all of our comments here on the channel, and hit the like button if you liked videos like this. If you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be much appreciated too. Thank you so much for sticking around for the remainder of this video, and we will catch you next time here on the Shuffle Squad.
Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.